In this video, I want to share with you the closest thing I have to a philosophy. Well, apart from being kind and being yourself, of course. I hold them to be very important as well. But I want to describe to you what I call my philosophy of sacred silliness. This is one of the key aspects of who I am and, well, how I live my life. Now, I've gone over a few of these ideas in my other video about Mr. Bean, but I want to kind of explain them more in depth. Simply, I believe that silliness is a key, or at least one of the keys, one way for overcoming negativity in your life. Because fundamentally, what is one of the main things that makes something negative? It is its seriousness. The reason we give them the value and the power that we do is because of how serious we believe they are and how much of an impact we think they can have on us. They have a tight hold over us, we like to believe. They have a power over us, if you will, but that is only because of how serious we think that they are. But when you be silly, when you be goofy, when you face things with humour, that is the antithesis of that energy. That is non-seriousness. So anything serious can't really survive in the face of silliness. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't function the same. Like the analogy I used in my last video, say if you took a really scary horror movie like Saw or The Shining, or even a sad movie. If you put Mr. Bean in those films, do you think they would remain as they are? No, they just devolve into humour. They would turn into comedies because the humour, the silliness, it just completely deconstructs their nature. And I believe this can be utilised for pretty much any problem or form of negativity, or I suppose seriousness in your life. Because when you watch something funny, it lifts you up out of the negativity, out of the seriousness. Like they say, laughter is the best medicine. Because if you're feeling, say, down or bored, just go watch something funny and I guarantee you'll feel better, even if it's just a little bit better. Because while it may not be able to completely overcome some of these issues, say like depression or anxiety or any kind of form of problems, negative problems, it can help to soften things and help you see things with more clarity. Because when you engage in these negative feelings, these negative emotions, and I'm not saying that that's a wrong thing to do at all, you need to feel your emotions but to be able to understand them and resolve them. But whenever you're in any kind of negativity, it's like having a boiling stove. The water in that stove is going to get all bubbly and unclear, and you're not going to be able to see things properly. But when you cool it down, when you make things less serious and more light-hearted and upbeat, you can see things clearly for what they really are. Because many of these things really are smokes and mirrors. They rely on you to feel threatened or scared by them and like they have power over you. But when you act silly, you suddenly realise, hey, wait a minute, I don't have to be in that state. I don't have to give into that state. I can choose something else. I can choose to feel a different way. I can choose to feel happy instead. It doesn't have as much power over me anymore. And that is essentially what I choose all the time. Now, I'm not saying for you to completely ignore negativity, because that doesn't help either. Or try and destroy the negativity, because it'll just keep coming back stronger and stronger. You need to listen to it and resolve it and heal it, but you can't do that whilst you're consumed by it. When you are seeing things the way you do through the lens of negativity, things seem horrible, things seem hopeless, when really they are not. Things are often far, far better than they seem to be, and far less serious than they seem to be. There is always a way to fix and get out of and resolve any issue and turn something negative into something positive. There always is. From my life, I can tell you that that is a fact. Now, I'm not saying to not take anything seriously, to not take any responsibility. Some situations require some seriousness, but it doesn't mean you have to get consumed by the seriousness and the negativity and stop being happy. Because if you're not happy, how are you going to show other people how to be? If you're not yourself, how are you going to show other people how to be themselves? And that is fundamentally what I'm trying to do. Because in essence, that is who I am. I am a silly, I'm a goofy, I am a light-hearted person. And I know that might not be everyone, that might not be for everyone. And I'm not saying it's the only way. There are many, many, many other ways. Just find the way which works for you, because this is the way that works for me. And I'm hoping it might also for some other people, which is why I want to share it. Because when you think about it, when you choose to be silly, to be goofy, to be yourself, to be upbeat, light-hearted, positive, if you're all the way up there, living your life, having fun, then how can any of the negativity down there really reach you if you let it? If you choose to be happy, if you choose to be positive, negativity can't really affect you unless you let it. And I've encountered many situations and people in my life that are just so negative and so wrapped up in negativity that it is hard to stay in a positive, chill, silly state. But when I just react to them with that, usually they're confused. They don't know what to do. And I have encountered some people that think being silly is immature. And I would say, do not listen to them people, because they can think they're so much smarter and better than you, being all serious. But they're the ones who are wrapped up in negativity and most likely miserable. Whilst you, being silly, being yourself, are so much more happier than them. Because when people attack you with their own negativity, they are only just reflecting just that, their own negativity, their own insecurities. And you have a right to be yourself and live your life how you want. And you shouldn't have to worry about what people think, because life is way, way too short to be getting wrapped up in what people think of you. Like I always say, no matter what you believe, life still comes down to this very fact. You have one life to live as yourself, so live it as yourself and live it to the fullest. Be as silly and as goofy as you want without worrying what anybody thinks, because you should be happy you deserve happiness, and you deserve to live your life happy. And for me, being silly and being goofy is something that makes me happy. And happiness always wins over negativity, each and every single time. So I use this silliness to bring me into a more positive state, bring me into clarity, and just dismantle anything serious or anything negative. Because serious faced with something non-serious just cannot survive. It just cannot compute, which is something I utilise all the time, and it has helped me very much throughout my life to be happy, to be myself, to combat virtually any problem or any type of negativity. So I send you a request to try and do the same when faced with anything serious or anything negative. Just be a little silly, be a little goofy. Go and make yourself laugh, and I promise you will see what I mean. Because silliness, positivity, kindness is the ultimate foil to anything negative in your life. Or at least that is what I have discovered in my wacky, crazy adventure I call life so far. And I will always be a silly person, not because I'm immature, because it's because of who I am, who I choose to be, and how much it helps me. And I also hope it can help you in your daily life as well. Fundamentally, I consider this philosophy, sacred silliness, to be sacred because it has been my number one and utmost key to combating any sort of negativity or problems in my life. So I encourage you to give it a try and to also explore and find your own ways which works for you, because this is what works for me. So I am happy, I am silly, I am proud that I am silly, and I will always be silly and a goof. It's what helps me, and it's who I am. Have a fantastic, fun, wonderful day. Don't forget to be a goofy goober, to not take life too seriously, and to be yourself, be positive, be kind, and enjoy yourself, whatever you are up to today. Thank you for listening. Have an absolutely wonderful day, and ta-ra for now. Woogie.